Oh, yeah. Is it Tuesday already? The best Tuesday of the year thus far. As yesterday, the first official trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie dropped. And today, we're breaking it all down. This trailer is absolutely incredible, and we're still 8 months away from this film. Finally giving us some look at what the plot of this movie might just be. And a lot of people might be wrong. Like, really, really wrong. So we'll dive into all of this. This trailer is incredible, but we got to talk about some other stuff too regarding Cal Kestis and Ahsoka Tano, but we'll talk about that stuff later on in the live stream. But without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? Oh, what a great day it is. I woke up with a giant smile on my face because yesterday I watched the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer at least 50 times. And today I might just watch it another 50 times. But we're going to break it down today, frame by frame. Look at all these crazy Easter eggs that are in this very short minute-and-a-half teaser trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Oh, what a great day. What a great day, chat. It's a good day. But before we do any of that, let's start the stream the only way we know how, by saying hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? How's everybody doing today? How was everybody's weekend, chat? How was your weekend? How was your Monday? Let's say hi to everybody in the chat. John Groom, what is up? Rachel, how we doing? Ian in the house. Nathan, how we doing? Brandon Baker, what is up? Mando United, how we doing? Starship 66 in the house. Not a Fed, what is up? Matt, how we doing? Mando United in the building. 730 Evie, what is up? Fearless, how we doing? Navarro, what is up? I Haja in the house. Steve Jedi Javaro, how we doing? Jacob, what is up? Darth Plagueis lives, how we doing? WV Grad in the house. All right, if I missed you, Ian, what's up? What's up? If I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little,
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so before we even watch this trailer, give me a 1 into the chat if you've already seen the trailer. I certainly hope you all have. It's been out for over 24 hours now, and it's fan-freaking-tastic. But give me a 1 if you've seen it, and as you do so, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hyped did this trailer get you? How excited are you now for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, more so than you were on Sunday? Like, how much more excited now are you for this film? And as you do that, let me actually put up a poll in the chat right away here. Before we even watch this trailer, let's put up a poll. Let's put up a poll. By the way, if you haven't smashed a freaking like on the stream, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Get on that. What did you think of The Mandalorian and Grogu first? Whoop, that's not how you spell first. First official trailer. And again, I say official because we all saw the leaked trailer that came out at Star Wars Celebration. But did you love it? Did you like it? Were you like, meh, I mean, it's all right? Or did you hate it? Where are we at? Where are we at on the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer? For the most part, I've seen a lot of hype. People getting excited, just plain and simple off the Easter eggs, but just seeing Din and Grogu back on the screen. It's just, we haven't seen them since 2023. Mandalorian Season 3 was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So it's been a while since we've seen these two on screen and they're fan favorite characters, so people are pretty damn excited. I have seen the other side of the Star Wars fandom that just either, 1, didn't like the trailer, or 2, just, hates on everything. I know there are people that are in between. Like, you can dislike the trailer and not be somebody who hates on everything. I fully get that. That's why I ask. So let's see. Where's our hype level at with this trailer dropping? 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Okay. 1. Oh my God. Oh no, that's a 1 for the other thing. I got you. 8 out of 10, 4.5. Okay. 7, 0. Okay. 10, 9, 9, 8 out of 10, 10 million. Okay. 9, 7, 6.5, 9. Okay. All right. 9, 10, 8. All right. So around like the 7, 8, 9, 10-ish area, give or take. And by the way, 66%, nice, of you guys loved the trailer. We'll keep that poll up there for a little bit longer. But honestly, this brought my hype level way, way up. The same way that the Starfighter stuff over the last couple weeks has gotten my excitement for that movie way, way up. When they announced the cast having Matt Smith, which we kind of assumed, and Mia Goth, which we already knew, then adding on to that Amy Adams and Flynn Gray and Aaron Pierre, who's going to be in the Lanterns show next year, that got me ridiculously excited. And then when they're posting official images from the set, that gets me hyped. Content gets me hyped. Shocker. So when a Mando trailer drops, when we have such little information about this Mandalorian and Grogu movie, it got me hyped. We are 8 months away. Start the countdown. Less than 8 months away from this movie. And they actually dropped the trailer exactly 8 months before the movie's release, because it does release on May 22nd. And this trailer dropped on September 22nd. But it got me hyped up. I'm excited. I've missed Din and Grogu. They are what made Disney Plus what it is back in 2019 and 2020 with season 1 and 2. And then in 2022 with the Book of Boba Fett. And in 2023 with The Mandalorian season 3. They are what built up Disney Plus for me. They are what has kept me alive in the Star Wars fandom. It's the reason I made this channel in the first place was Mando season 2. And I'm excited. Sue me. Don't actually, because I don't really want to deal with that. But I'm excited, and I'm sure many of you are as well. So let's take a look. Let's watch the trailer, shall we? Let's break it all down. Actually, before we even do that, let's read the StarWars.com official post that came with the trailer, because not many people know that there's this official post that actually gives a lot of information about the movie itself. So let's take a look at that first. I know, the anticipation. I'm sure you've all seen the trailer already, but we'll break it down. Okay. So this is coming from StarWars.com themselves. This is coming from StarWars.com. Mandalorian and Grogu first teaser trailer revealed. The next Star Wars film featuring the Clan of Two opens exclusively in theaters on May 22nd, 2026. Okay. If you're searching for a new adventure, this is the way. Oh, I missed The Mandalorian. Oh, how I missed you. Okay, the first official teaser trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu, or Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu. Interesting. I feel like I never see it written like that. Oh, we got a super chat? I'll get to that super chat in 1 second. Isn't it usually just The Mandalorian and Grogu? Calling it Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, is like calling it Star Wars Episode 1. I always thought of The Mandalorian and Grogu movie as a title, as more of like a Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Like The Mandalorian and Grogu, a Star Wars story. Not really Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Clan Brandalorian brings up a great point. Maybe it says Star Wars because this is going to be the beginning of a trilogy. I certainly hope so. I mean, we've been talking about, Ron, what's up? We've been talking about the possibility of this movie being the beginning of a trilogy for months and months and months now. The most recent report has been that Lucasfilm themselves wants to make this a trilogy, but Disney is pretty hesitant about it because they want to see a success in the box office first. They don't want to greenlight an entire trilogy if the first movie bombs, which makes sense from a business perspective, but from an audience perspective, I want to get hyped up for a trilogy. So, maybe this is more evidence to suggest that this could be the beginning of a trilogy. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, not The Mandalorian and Grogu, a Star Wars story, or anything of that sort, which is just a one and done thing. Keep that in your mind. Keep that in the back of your head as we continue. All right, this is the description we've been looking for. The evil empire has fallen. This is like the opening crawl. This is what I imagine as I read this. The opening crawl of this movie. How do you explain to the audience where we're at in the timeline and what's going on right now with this movie? So, the evil empire has fallen. The Imperial warlords remain scattered throughout the galaxy. Boom. Already established our villain. Already established where we're at in the timeline in one sentence with a comma in the middle. As the fledgling New Republic works to protect everything the rebellion fought for, they have to enlist the help of the legendary bounty hunter Din Djarin, played by Pedro Pascal, and his young apprentice Grogu, played by himself. So that is sort of the opening crawl to an extent, as I imagine it. I'm sure it will be different if there is going to be an opening crawl, which hasn't been confirmed or denied yet. But that is what we have. That is establishing where it takes place in the timeline, vaguely, I guess, because we don't have a specific date, but that explains what's going on here. And for all those people who thought it has nothing to do with the Empire and its remnant or the Imperial warlords, this whole movie is going to be about that. Like, yes, you're going to have your Hutts in the criminal underworld, and we're going to see that in the trailer, but it's still going to all be about the remnant of the Empire and hopefully teasing at Grand Admiral Thrawn as the heir to the Empire and all the other different sections, let's call it, of the Shadow Council that are all doing different things. You got General Hux over there doing the Starkiller base stuff in Project Necromancer. You got Hellion waiting for Grand Admiral Thrawn to be the heir to the Empire. You got Moff Gideon, who's now dead, but still, you had Moff Gideon on Mandalore doing his own thing. So all these different Imperial warlords are doing their own thing. So hopefully we get to see a lot of that in this Mandalorian and Grogu movie. But the Clan of Two is ready for the fight. The brand new Razor Crests. So the Razor Crest has not returned. Well, technically it has. But the Razor Crest itself, the first one that he has not returned. This is a new Razor Crest. It has landed. In our first look at the highly anticipated next chapter of the Mandalorian story, alongside glimpses of Din Djarin and Grogu on their next adventure. So, and then there's the trailer, but there is some stuff after it. So before we even watch the trailer, I want to get to that first. But let me get to these super chats real quick. So we got a couple here. Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $10 holla. I appreciate that quite a bit. Says trailer time, so hype. Okay. I'm hyped too, but usually with a super chat, you want to ask a question or, say something important. God. Not trying to tell you how to spend your money, but I'm just trying to tell you how to spend your money. Another Mike who loves Star Wars with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that. Says, hey, Mike, this is the way. I have spoken. Again. What? No question. Just hey, Mike. Just hello there. God. Do better, chat. Do better. Okay, let's get back to this though. We see Grogu in the new Anzellan Friends. By the way, I've heard a lot of this is Babu Frick. I'm like 99.9% sure it's not, because Babu was not in Mando season 3, and I assume these are the same Anzellans from there. But new Anzellan Friends, and using a tiny telescope as he works alongside Din Djarin. The Mandalorians' Zeb Aurelius is back. No way they just called him the Mandalorians. Star Wars Rebels' Zeb Aurelius is back, featured in the poster art that also includes Sigourney Weaver's new character and a pair of Hutts. We're going to be talking a lot of Hutts today. A lot. But yes, the twin Hutts from the Book of Boba Fett are featured on the poster. From toppling Imperial remnant AT-ATs, interesting, to venturing into the gladiator fight where the creature from the Dedrick have become larger than life, and the impressive Hutt can be glimpsed in silhouette. Stinky the Hutt. They're still not confirming that it's Stinky the Hutt, or Rada, if you will. The Mandalorian and Grogu are on course for action and adventure. The film is directed by Jon Favreau, who is also producing alongside Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and Ian Bryce, who we talked about last stream. The film's music is composed by Ludwig Göransson, sure. He's returning to score the franchise once more. So what's great about this is he did season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, I believe. But he did not do season 3, I think. Somebody fact check me on that. I know he did season 1. I'm actually not even sure if he did season 2, but I think he did. I don't think he came back for season 3, though. This is one of the best composers currently. Like, obviously, John Williams is the GOAT. He will forever be the GOAT. But right now, making movie scores and show scores, he's one of the best. Since he did The Mandalorian, before he did The Mandalorian, he's gone on to do other things like Oppenheimer. He did something very recently that was really, really good. I forget. But having him come back to do The Mandalorian is just fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, but The Mandalorian and Grogu embark on their most thrilling mission yet in Lucasfilm's Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu. That's throwing me off. This does make me think trilogy immediately. This all-new Star Wars adventure filmed for IMAX and opening exclusively in theaters on May 22nd, 2026. All right, hang on. Let me get to these super chats before we get to the trailer and the poster. What do we want to do first, Chad? Watch the trailer and break it down, or do the poster first? What do we think? You tell me. All right, but let's get to these. Not a Fed with a very generous $5 holla says, no Mando dying yet? Are you feeling okay? Hey, we're only what? Oh, wow, we're already 16 minutes into the live. We're only 16 minutes in, okay? You haven't even let me get to the trailer yet where I think that Din Djarin's going to die at. Okay? Just give me time. Just give me time, okay? But no, I'm not feeling great today. No, I have a little bit of a runny nose, you know. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm off. Actually, in completely unrelated news, and this is just literally completely off topic, but today is the 5-year anniversary, I guess. 5-year anniversary of I got this major spinal fusion surgery 5 years ago today. And it's actually the recovery of that made me create this channel. So shout out to that. But every year I just celebrate by myself with being thankful that I'm still alive. And I get Chipotle. So shout out to Chipotle. I had it before the live stream. Actually, there's still a little bit of it left right here. Shout out to Chipotle. Yeah, I like to celebrate by myself because, you know, life is good. Life is good because it's worth living. And you get a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer on a random Monday in September. Life is good. Okay, but moving on. Ron with a very generous $5 holla says, do you think we'll get any Maul Shadow Lord Easter eggs or explanation during this movie? Well, I think Maul Shadow Lord will come out before this movie, so maybe it has a connection, but I seriously doubt it. Yeah, shout out to Chipotle. Well done on your rehab. Celebrate with us. Yeah, no, it was a long process. It was like, technically it was like 12 months, but I mean, I was back to running. I was back to walking in a couple weeks. I was back to running in like, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 months. And then I was good to go after probably 12 months. I don't know. I feel like that might be the first time I've ever mentioned that on live streams. That's pretty crazy. But it is the reason I made this channel in the first place, because I was recovering from that, laid up in bed all the time, watching The Mandalorian Season 2 going, holy crap, this is so good. By the way, it was great because I would just watch The Mandalorian Season 2 and be like, holy crap, this is so good, and have nothing else to do all day. But the thing that I had nothing else to do all day is what made me make this channel. So shout out to back surgery, shout out to spinal fusion, shout out to 5 years ago, Mandalorian Season 2, Mandalorian Grogu movie, shout out to Chipotle, shout out to 5 years, shout out to everything, shout out to everyone, and shout out to living, because life is great, chat. Life is great. Okay, but getting back on topic here. Another Mike who loves Star Wars is very generous $2 holla. Says, okay, you asked for it. A Quill impression, please. I have spoken.
This is where the fun begins.
There you go. Okay, but let's get to this. Oh, is it going to do all those again? Are you kidding me? Or is that a new one? Okay. Oh my God. All right, let's just ignore that for now. I might even actually mute it. Actually, can you guys not hear that? That has been muted this whole time? Now it's not. Okay. Let's take a look at this poster first. Or actually, what did you guys decide on? Poster first or trailer first? Poster first or... I'm muting it again. Poster first or trailer first? Okay. Derek, what's up? The Derek Frank in the house. Trailer first or poster first, Chad? Poster, trailer. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Question. Do you still think this movie will make $1 billion, or does this trailer make you more or less confident? I'm very glad you asked, Rich. I am like 73% more confident that it will make over $1 billion. More confident, that is. After the trailer, after the hype from the trailer, the fact that it just the one trailer itself on YouTube has over like 8 million views already. And then that doesn't even include the other trailer that has over 1 million views or all other platforms and everything. The fact that the hype level for this has skyrocketed since this trailer dropped just 20-something hours ago, it's got me pretty confident. Grogu in Grogu himself can put this movie over $1 billion. I certainly think so. Fearless, I appreciate that so much more than you'll ever know. I appreciate that quite a bit. All right, let's get to this poster first. I'm seeing poster first. Poster first. Let's go. Poster first. Let's take a look. All right, let's take a deep dive here. Well, first, let's zoom out. So it's the Mandalorian and Grogu. We got this new font for the logo. I'm assuming it's not going to change again because it's changed like 3 times already. I don't think it'll change because this is sort of the official poster now. It's very Indiana Jones-esque. Did anybody else get that when they looked at this, looked at the new title? I immediately thought Indiana Jones. Not just the way it like curves, but if you look at the and the way that they're like cut at the top and the bottom, it's very Indiana Jones-esque. Very. Honestly, more of a creative Star Wars poster than I ever thought they would do, because usually with the Star Wars posters, they're pretty similar. You have that main villain in the middle with like in the background in the middle, and then you have the floating heads, as they call it. Now, there are some floating heads in this trailer, like Din and Grogu's, and I guess Zeb's too. But it's very different than most posters that we see for these movies. All right, let's take a closer look. Starring Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin and Grogu as himself. Genius. Only in theaters May 22nd, and if you're searching for a new adventure, this is the way. Amazing. All right, let's take a closer look. So we got the new Razor Crest over here with some X-Wings. No X-Wings in the trailer, at least as far as I'm aware, unless I missed it. No X-Wings in the trailer, but the Razor Crest is definitely there, and we'll talk about that new Razor Crest in a minute. As we come down here, you got Sigourney Weaver, who, by the way, they're kind of keeping some secrets on this lady's character here, because she was talking about it back at Star Wars Celebration and saying something along the lines of like, okay, this is who my character is. She was once a rebel pilot, and now she's sort of gone up in the world. She even mentions Jyn Erso in that interview, but we'll watch that after we do all the trailer stuff. So then we got Grogu and the Anzellans. Maybe one of these is Babu Frick, maybe this guy on the end, but they haven't specified that yet. Zeb Orrelios makes his triumphant return, and he can be seen in action in this trailer. And then the Twin Hutts, who, by the way, aren't in the trailer. So very weird that they are in this poster. It's like Cal Kestis in the Rebuild the Galaxy stuff. They're just sitting here in the poster. So they're going to play a pretty big role if they're on the poster of the movie, but they're not in the trailer. They're not in the trailer, which is weird. So, I don't know. The twins were in the Book of Boba Fett. Din Djarin never met them, I don't think, but Boba Fett did. So, I also think Boba Fett will be in this movie, but we'll talk about that later. Then you got Din Djarin and Grogu on an AT-RT from the Clone Wars. I mean, this movie just keeps getting better. These I've been mostly seen in the Clone Wars, I should say. And this is him being shot at by an AT-AT. It's so crazy. Like, people forget how good The Mandalorian's first 3 seasons are on Disney+. Take that, amplify it by 10, turn it into an IMAX theater screen, and now you have this movie. the thing that brought so many people back to Star Wars. It revived Star Wars. All these things that they praised The Mandalorian about, that's coming over to the big screen in 8 months. So do I think it'll make $1 billion? Yes. Actually, probably a lot more than that. Carson Teva better appear. Carson Teva will definitely be in this movie. Yeah. I mean, maybe not because of Sigourney Weaver's character sort of taking that role, but I think he'll still appear there. Yeah. Then we got Din fighting this monster on the right side here. This monster is not seen in the trailer, but it looks very creepy and scary. But Din is also holding his pulse blaster back. So this pulse blaster that I thought he lost all those years ago, he has returned. It's the return of the pulse blaster and the return of the Razor Crest. And then to finish things off, we have an AT-AT, but not just any AT-AT, as you guys pointed out. Shout out to the people who love Star Wars. An AT-AT from Star Wars Rebels, a Grand Admiral Thrawn AT-AT, if you will. But that's the poster. Even the poster is awesome. But let's get to the trailer. Let's get to what we've all been waiting for, the trailer. And let's watch it freaking frame by frame and second by second, because there is so much going on in this trailer. Actually, first, let's just watch it all the way through. Minute 30, let's watch it just plain and simple all the way through. Let's start there. Turn the volume up to 11.
Impressive.
Good shot, baby.
I mean, it keeps getting better every time I watch it. Actually, watching it with the headphones on today was the first time I've done that, and it sounds awesome. I mean, the soundtrack for The Mandalorian, it's been stuck in my head since yesterday, since I first watched the trailer, but I mean, I've just been sitting here going, da 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 da, da 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 da. Sorry, that's probably annoying. But let's watch this and actually let's break it down this time, okay? What the hell? Go back to the beginning. Let's break it down. So immediately we start and we get this Razor Crest. No N1 starfighter in this trailer at all. None. A little weird. The M1 starfighter was given to Din Djarin in the Book of Boba Fett. And it's badass. It's really fast. It gives us the opportunity to see some really cool, fast-paced dogfights in space. That's what we got in the Book of Boba Fett. That's what we got in Mando Season 3, with some great action shots with the N1 starfighter. We even got to see him go the same route that Anakin Skywalker does in the pod race in The Phantom Menace. That's really, really cool. But I feel like most fans prefer the Razor Crest, which is kind of crazy. It's like sports car versus mom van, and people are saying mom van. But actually, let's put up a poll in the chat. I'm curious. Which do you prefer more, the Razor Crest or the N1 starfighter? Let's see. Which do you like more? Din Djarin in the Razor Crest, or the N1? Which one? I think you're going to get both in this movie. I think you'll definitely get both. And we'll talk about that in one sec. But which one do you prefer? Now, this is pod racing. Indeed it is. Interesting. Mom van? Yeah, it's a mom van. It's a sports car versus a mom van. Okay? You choose the Razor Crest, you choose the mom van. But this shot right here actually does show us how we can have both. To my knowledge, and I do not study the Razor Crest for a living, but I think the back here, this giant sort of opening thing, could be where they could attach the N1 Starfighter to the top of the Razor Crest. Now this, like I mentioned on the last stream where we were sort of dissecting Rebuild the Galaxy, I think they've already shown us this in Rebuild the Galaxy. If I can find it really quickly. I think Rebuild the Galaxy already gave us a sneak peek as to what this is going to look like. Now, although Rebuild the Galaxy is not canon, it still gives us this. So you got a Razor Crest here. Mandalorian's Razor Crest. And then on the back, you can clearly see that this is the N1 Starfighter. Like, that's the little bubble that Grogu is in, and this is the back of it. So the N1 is on top of the Razor Crest. So technically, and this is not canon, but still, they could use this same exact method to give us Din Djarin with both the Razor Crest, both the mom van, and the cool sports car. Why can't we have both? Again, the M1 Starfighter is not in this trailer once. However, what if this is trailer magic? Nobody really thinks about this until the movie happens. The fact that there could be scenes in this trailer that either don't happen in the movie or are altered to keep stuff hidden. For example, there could be a scene in a trailer where there's a character that's there who's not there in the trailer. It usually happens mostly with Marvel movies, but we haven't had a Star Wars movie in 6 years. So it hasn't had the opportunity to happen with the Star Wars movie in a while. But even with Rogue One, there's certain scenes in the trailer for Rogue One that aren't even in the movie. Now, I think that all these scenes will be in the movie. I just think some of them might be altered. For example, the M1 Starfighter might be on the back of this Razor Crest in the movie. They might have just edited that out just for us in this trailer. But this planet is the New Republic base on Adelphi that we saw at the end of The Mandalorian Season 3. As you can see right there, this is the Adelphi base from the Outer Rim. Hang on, we got a super chat. Hang on. Ron with another very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that. Says, do you think that there's any significance to the yellow on the Razor Crest? I think it's mostly just to show us that it's not the other Razor Crest. You know, there has to be a distinction, and I think these yellow stripes are honestly just to do that, to show us that it's a different Razor Crest. Because yeah, it's already confusing enough that fans saw the Razor Crest in The Mandalorian blow up in season 2, and now he's getting another one back. So I think the yellow is honestly just to show that it's a different Razor Crest. Now, maybe it could have some significance. Maybe it could. But I don't know. We shall see. It's a teaser trailer, not a trailer. Well, yeah, but it's still... I mean, it does say The Mandalorian and Grogu official trailer. Right there. Official trailer. You know? Okay, but moving on. Adelphi base. But I think the Empire might have taken it over. Or something bad is happening on this base. Because the next scene is them on Adelphi. Or what looks to be Adelphi again. These sand dunes with the water in the background. If you go back a couple frames here, it looks like the exact same location. Sand dunes, water in the background. They could just be either on a mission on the same planet, or the Empire has taken over this very small New Republic outpost. This being the second scene of the trailer just made me smile, you know? Just seeing these two back, Grogu holding up that little binocular lens to his eye. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay? It's awesome. But Grogu's going to be doing a lot more than since we've last seen him. Because, I mean, he's still a child, a 50-year-old child, but still a child nonetheless. But he can use the Force a lot easier now after training with Luke Skywalker. He doesn't have to sleep for days on end after he uses the Force, unless maybe he does something really, really crazy. But we're going to see Grogu doing a lot more in this movie. Yeah. I don't think this is the Adelphi base. I know I just told you that I think that the Empire has taken over that base. I still think that that's true, but I don't think this is the same scene. Trailer magic. I think this is some other location. I don't know where. I don't know when. I don't know how, and I don't know how. But Stormtroopers, Imperial Base, this is probably later on in the movie. But as you can tell, it's sort of the two binocular thing that Luke Skywalker uses on Tatooine, and Grogu's using only this one little thing. But going back to that, a lot of stormtroopers in this trailer and in the leaked trailer too. The snow troopers, the regular stormtroopers. You're going to get a lot of the Empire in this movie. Sigourney Weaver. What do we know about this character? Well, actually quite a bit. So from the leaked images from D23, which was over a year ago, we know that she can be seen on set in a very iconic orange jumpsuit that the X-Wing pilots wear back in the original trilogy. So she was once a rebel, who was probably an X-Wing pilot and went up in the world. And now she is this leader, so to speak, of the New Republic. And she's the one who's going to be bossing Din and Grogu around. Will we see her suit up and hop in an X-Wing again? Maybe. What's her character's name? Well, the leaked name that we got was it was what? Why am I blanking? Bishop. Thank you, Bishop. Was Bishop. But that has not really been confirmed by Lucasfilm themselves yet. So Sigourney, her backstory might be very, very interesting because she was a part of the Rebel Alliance, and the fact that she, let me just pull up the interview now. Seems like a good spot. So this interview, these two interviews actually from Star Wars Celebration have popped up on my page, just sort of because it's Pedro Pascal and Sigourney talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu, and now since we have the trailer, we have a little bit more information about this. Take a look at this.
She was a pilot, I think, and actually probably is still a pilot. Came up during the rebellion.
These were the leaked images we got from a year ago. Over a year ago. It was August of 2024, and this is where we got her in this X-Wing pilot. So this is backstage. This is behind the scenes. This is them filming the movie.
And now is trying to do whatever she can in the Outer Rim to protect the Republic. It's very exciting to play a career soldier or Air Force person who's come up through the ranks and now has, I feel like people who protect us, people who protect, the democracy, have a lot of weight on their shoulders. She's really smart.
Here's how broken my brain is. Anytime I hear the word democracy, I just hear it as Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith. Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
Smart to have asked Din Djarin to come and work for her. And he really kicks ass. I think it pleases her no end. But I think she also, she's in charge, so she's got to keep a firm hold on what they do.
She's somebody who came up during the rebellion. Did she have adventures with Luke Skywalker or anybody from that era?
I think that probably one of her friends was Jin. Well, that would have been the generation. So I know they lost a lot of people during Rogue One. And so there are fewer of them, but they're just as passionate.
You know, here's what I think is going on here. I think she's playing a character that's very much like who's the lady that everybody hated in The Last Jedi? The lady who sacrifices herself and goes into hyperspace through Snoke's ship. What is her name? Somebody help me out in the chat. I think her character is going to be the Mandalorian's version of that character, and they're going to make her a better version. Haldo, thank you. Yes, the Haldo maneuver. The Haldo character. I think she's going to be this movie's version of that character, and they're going to make her backstory better and explain it probably more. The fact that she brings up Jyn Erso and all the people who died during the rebellion, like that's coming off a fresh wound from Andor season 2, still stings. Even though Jyn wasn't in in the show, but she's in the movie. But they all die, or most of them die. And the few survivors, the Leias, the Lukes, the Hans, the maybe Bishops, we don't really know her true name. But these characters are the ones that feel scarred the most. She watched all her friends die. So seeing that sort of character in this Mandoverse post-original trilogy time period with the remnant of the Empire, she must have some pretty strong feelings about the Empire after losing all those friends and being a pilot and doing all that. So the fact that she brings up a character like Jyn Erso is pretty damn cool, comparing it to that sort of character and being maybe even friends with that sort of character. It's pretty damn cool. So that's Sigourney talking about it there at Star Wars Celebration. So we do get to see, and if I find it again here.
This is still a pilot. Came up.
This. Now in the trailer, she doesn't look like this. Maybe this is flashback scenes, which would be really, really cool. We're getting flashback scenes in this Mando movie to her backstory. But we know for a fact she'll be either suiting up in this movie or in some sort of flashback, or maybe even in like pictures or something. I don't know. But either way, she'll be in this uniform. Yeah. Okay, but going back to the trailer. And clearly she's not in that uniform here. Now, unless the Adelphi base got a huge upgrade, I'm pretty sure this is not it. So it's a different base, I think. Maybe actually. I don't know. It looks whiter and cleaner. Like I mentioned before, Grogu using the Force a lot easier now. A lot easier now. Yeah. Where was she during Rogue One? Do you think we'll get that explained? Probably. Maybe she's one of the people who is fighting in the atmosphere above Scarif. And maybe she was at the Battle of Scarif, but she just wasn't on the surface, so she survived. Could be. Okay, so a lot of questions were brought up about this planet. As you can see before Din Djarin so rudely steps in this puddle, you can see the sort of backwards writing, because it's a puddle, on the wall here. And shout out to the people who love Star Wars in the Discord. You guys sort of deciphered a lot of this. Some of it saying spice or market or whatever, so along those lines. This is some sort of criminal underworld world. Now, it could be a brand new planet. It could be. It could be Nar Shaddaa, which I certainly hope it is, because seeing that in live action would be ridiculously cool. And all these connections to the Hutts, it would make sense. But what planet do you think this is? What planet do you think it is? This is a Hutt planet? Well, Nar Shaddaa is not technically a Hutt planet, but it is a underworld planet where the Hutts are a lot. Yeah. It could also be the planet Coruscant. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's Coruscant because of what we see in the next couple scenes. Like, there's not going to be this huge gladiator fighting thing on Coruscant. Yeah. Battle of Scarif was only survivors was Princess Leia and her ship. No, a lot actually made it out of that. I mean, when you watch Rogue One, you can see a bunch of them jet into hyperspace, and then some of them get stopped by Vader's Star Destroyer. And even still, I mean, other ships make it out. Yeah. Indeed. The other one that was mentioned was the planet from Kenobi. Yeah, from the Kenobi series. I think it's called Dayu or Dayu or something like that. The planet where he goes to rescue Leia after she got captured by Reva and the Inquisitors. That could be the planet too. It could just be a brand new planet for all we know. That too. But either way, some sort of underworldy planet that we haven't seen yet in live action. Unless it's Coruscant, but I seriously doubt it. Yeah. Big old bar fight here. Classic Din Djarin getting into bar fights. But I guess the question to you guys is, why is he fighting? Is that really necessary? That's some fine liquor right there. Then we get this guy. This is from the species of Inochi. I forget how to pronounce it, but the same species as the council member Jedi Master Tin in the prequel trilogy. This species right here, the big horn-headed guy. I'm assuming that this is the same bar because you see the cages up in the air, and you can see. We go back here. Cages up in the air up here too. So not much to really go off of in this scene except for a cool action scene. He's wearing a uniform. Who is this guy? Or the other guy? Oh, this guy. I don't know if it's a uniform, but he's wearing something. But here comes Grogu, hopping onto his shoulder. He learned that from Luke. Like Pikachu. But we get to this guy. Now, this is one of the coolest Easter eggs of the entire trailer. But this is wow, the Razor Crest is winning 72% right now. This is a species known as the Amani. And talk about a deep cut. I mean, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have done this before. All throughout The Mandalorian, they bring back just deep cuts all over the place. For example, R5 is a main character of Mando Season 3. He's the droid who had a bad motivator in A New Hope. Like, that stuff is really, really cool, and fans dig it. So when they bring back a very, very, very background character like this from Jabba's palace, it gets people hyped up. So if you don't know what I'm talking about here, this species is the Amani, and this is him in Jabba's palace. A little bit more colorful here, but we'll get to why that is in a second. He's holding a staff with like skulls on it, and he's just sort of a back. Look at how long his arm is. Can we talk about this for a second? What's going on there? But really, really weird looking character. Background of all background characters. Random alien in Jabba's palace. You know what John and Dave do? They make him a creature that looks scary as hell coming out of the bog water in the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. So, and then when he smiles, he's got creepy, really sharp teeth that look horrible. And then his eyes like switch to night mode or something. See that? Creepy as hell. So, random side character from Jabba's palace turns into creepy monster in the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, and just John and Dave doing their job, you know? Keeping everybody happy over here. But that's just one of the really cool Easter eggs. This is just one of them. Shout out to Alex, actually, because he sent this to the Discord. And if you guys are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join it immediately. But the Amani were actually supposed to be in a deleted arc or deleted scene, I guess an arc, from the Clone Wars. Check this out. So this is from, I believe, the Clone Wars Season 7. Yep, because Anakin's hair. Look at this.
Be careful, Anakin. The Amani were once fierce headhunters, so don't anger them.
Got it.
And definitely no strong-arming.
Ha ha. Very funny.
There they are. So you have the more colorful ones that you see in Jabba's palace. They have ridiculously long arms. Then you have the darker ones here. So in Dave Filoni's mind, these characters have already existed. Like he wanted to put them in Clone Wars Season 7. So now he's like, you know what? I'm just going to put them in the movie we're producing, The Mandalorian and Grogu. No way. They roll in ball form? Look at this. Look on the left side of the screen. You're going to see two of them roll in and then like come up. I really hope he kept that detail in. If they roll around like droidicas, like living organism droidicas, that would be so cool.
Kachakura Kajeg.
We mean no harm. We're here to investigate a murder in Pause.
So there you have it. Deleted scene from the Clone Wars with these creatures turns into Mandalorian and Grogu movie live action creature. Now I really hope he turns into a ball like a droidica and rolls around, because that would be awesome. But there you have it. The Amani are back in the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. Okay, continuing. Then we get Grogu and Din Djarin in the Razor Crest. So if we take a look here, boom. This is actually the thumbnail of today's live stream. This scene right here, very, very cool. You can see the reflection of Din Djarin's helmet that they're on, maybe still Adelphi. Like you can see there's waves, or it looks like the ocean here, and waves crashing on some sort of beach. Actually, maybe that's just the sky. No, because down here it looks like it's also that same sort of thing. But either way, he is only in the Razor Crest by himself. We assume that this is Zeb Orrelios' Razor Crest, and we assume that because of this image that was leaked out a couple months ago. But I'll pull it up in one sec. We assume that this is Zeb Orrelios' Razor Crest that he's giving to Din Djarin, or I guess maybe not willingly. But we know that Zeb's not going to die, because Zeb's going to be in Ahsoka Season 2. So why do you think that Zeb's just going to be like, here, have my Razor Crest. You know what? I don't need it anymore. Just, have my Razor Crest. Because as we assume from this, it's Zeb's, because Din Djarin doesn't have one. And he's just going to gift it to him? Like, what's the deal with that? Maybe he gets it in reward for doing this mission? I don't know. He trades him for the N1 Starfighter? I don't think Zeb Orrelios will fit in the N1 Starfighter, honestly. I don't think so. Maybe. Lost it in a game of Baccarat? Oh, and why can't I think of the name? I doubt it. I think Zeb will honestly just maybe give it to him. Maybe Din Djarin saves his life or something along those lines, and then he just keeps it from him. Where do you think Zeb got it? I think it's just his ship. I think this is Zeb's ship for the New Republic. Like, that's just what he flies around in. It's for the Rada job? Could be. Could be. Maybe it didn't belong to anyone. It's just a New Republic one, and they made it brand new for him. Interesting. Maybe Din Djarin just really liked his Razor Crest quite a bit and was like, I'll only work for you if you give me a Razor Crest. Yeah. Maybe his M1 Starfighter blows up or is badly damaged, and then he has to take something else. Maybe. Maybe. But either way, we know that Din Djarin's going to end up with it solely by himself because, I mean, as we see here, just the two of them. Now, this is where things get really interesting. I said in my breakdown video that I thought these were TIE interceptors. Because when you slow it down, you look at this, you have this sort of rounded body here that looks like the middle of a TIE, and then the long wings make you think TIE interceptor. But somebody pointed out TIE fighters don't have these red blaster bolts. They have green blaster bolts, which you're absolutely right. But what is this ship then? There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. There's 3 of them chasing him. What is it? If it's not a TIE fighter, I was just about to say that. It looks like a Vulture droid. Vulture droids at this point, I mean, the Vulture droids are from the time of the Separatists, the time of the Clone Wars. That's anywhere from 20 to 30 years before this. Now, we have seen some B1 and B2 battle droids in The Mandalorian Season 3. But if that's the case, who the hell is using Vulture droids? Huh. That'd be pretty wild. That would be wild. It could be some sort of other ship, but it looks like Vulture droids, go ahead and admit. Yeah. If Zeb dies, I'll be sad. I think Zeb has sort of some plot armor because he's supposed to be in Ahsoka Season 2. Unless they just lied to us and told us he was in Ahsoka Season 2 for no reason, but yeah. Thrawn in the Remnant, interesting. You think Thrawn's got some Vulture droids up his sleeves? Okay. Yeah. We also know that, yes, Din Djarin does not like droids because of what happened to his family. Yeah. Early remnants probably need everything they can find. Also maybe true. If we're getting Vulture droids, though, it's just going to be really cool to see them again in live action. I mean, it's been 20 plus years. But that's pretty cool. So, big old dogfight in the atmosphere, which is great to see. Reminds me of season 2 and 3. And then Grogu swimming. So the obvious answer here is this is Mandalore, and he's going to get the Mythazar, and it's going to be great. We get the Mythazar in live action. Grogu tames it, he rides it, and it's epic. But I actually don't think that's what's going on here. I really don't. I think they're saving the Mythazar for whatever the final climactic battle is, and I don't think it'll be in this movie because this will probably be a trilogy, and we'll probably save the Mythazar till the end when he has to show up and save the day. But what is Grogu doing here then? He's drowning more like? Well, he's swimming here. This is more swimming than drowning. But it does kind of look like he's drowning in this first scene. Yeah. So he's looking up at something here. Or maybe he's just catching his breath. And then he goes back down. Swim, 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 swim. Oh, we'll get to that in one sec. I hope he's going after the Mythazar because, I mean, they teased the Mythazar in season 3, and I just want to see it in live action in its full glory. But I don't know if they're going to pull it out this early. He's looking for the frog eggs. That would be pretty funny. Yeah. Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bumper! So with that being said, do you guys think we'll see the Mythazar in this movie? It's Mythosaur, not Mythazar. Mythasar. Same difference. Do you guys think we'll see the Mythosaursar in this movie? Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. He's breaking into the Inquisitor's base. Well, the Inquisitors are long gone, so I doubt that one. Yeah. I don't think he will. I don't think he will either. I think they're saving that giant creature for later on. Maybe they tease it at the end of the movie like, oh, we need some backup or something like that, and then they go get the giant creature on Mandalore. But I don't know. Keller and Beck, where is he at? I don't think this movie will ever touch on that. I don't think so. Keller and Beck, not yet. Okay, but moving on. This next scene is my personal favorite scene of the entire trailer. Zeb Aurelius in action. So we're slowing this way down, and we're slowing this way down for a couple reasons. One, because it's Zeb and he's badass. He's still got his what is this thing called? It's got a specific name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. He's fighting this stormtrooper. Now, as he comes down and they use the... Check out this stormtrooper's helmet. Now, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. But this specific frame indeed, this makes me believe, or makes it look like definitely, that this is a transition helmet from Stormtrooper to First Order Trooper. So, and let me explain what I mean. So we are in this time between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. And there's going to be this progression to where we get to the First Order, Snoke, the First Order troopers that we see, they fly now, all that stuff. We'll get there eventually. There's still a good 20, 25 years until then, until The Force Awakens begins. But the First Order is already a very big powerhouse in the galaxy by the time of the First Order. So they have to be around for some time. So when you look at the Stormtrooper helmet, and you, oops, I don't want to shop for a Stormtrooper helmet. When you look at the Stormtrooper helmet from the originals, this looks something like this. And then when you look at the First Order Trooper helmet, so this is the Stormtrooper helmet, the regular one. This is the First Order one. Stormtrooper, First Order. Stormtrooper, First Order. And then you look at the trailer. Oh, that's the wrong foot. That's the wrong thing. Then you look at the trailer. This frame right here in particular looks way more like the First Order Trooper. It's got the big sort of all black eyebrow looking thing that goes across the top here. You got the eyes, and then it's a connective nose piece that goes all the way looped down and up around. And when you look at this, that's what this has. This big eyebrow piece going across, and then the connecting piece that goes here. The Stormtrooper helmet does have this, but it's not connected. It's not connected there. There's a white strip in between. And this is not connected either. So this right here, to me, there's no white in between. And the connectiveness of this makes me think at least some sort of maybe transition helmet to the First Order. Because in the Bad Batch and in hopefully the Maul series coming up next year, we see that. We see this transition from clone trooper to stormtrooper. That's not a one and done thing. It sort of happens over time. You have this transition where they're phasing out the clones and then they get the stormtrooper helmets, but they look a little bit different. So maybe we'll get something similar to that with the stormtroopers in this. Would be pretty damn crazy. Would be pretty damn crazy. It would not only connect to the fact that we're going to the new to the First Order in the sequel trilogy eventually, but it would also give you maybe some Project Necromancer stuff in this movie, which Season 3 alluded to a little bit, and Season 2 for that matter. And you could be possibly teasing at like somehow Palpatine returned and Snoke and all that greatness in this movie too, if that's what's going on here. So I don't know. You guys tell me. Am I crazy here, or do you see it too? Do you see this? Do you see this too? It looks way more like the First Order Trooper helmet than it does the Stormtrooper. It does still kind of have this at the bottom, which the First Order one doesn't. This opening thing there. But this top piece is so much more First Order than Stormtrooper. So not only do we got Zeb in action and all badass. Kid Fisto with a very generous $2 holla says, I'm so excited for this movie. Hype level 430%. Nice. I appreciate that. But not only is it Zeb in live action, or Zeb in action, all badass, you might also be getting a little tease at the Stormtrooper helmet. Now, if we, even the next one looks like it's still attached there, and this there, it's like broken off because he hit it. That's so freaking good. Look, you can see his face. You can see he cracked the helmet. Oh, this movie's gonna be so good. Look, you can still see the crack in the helmet right there. My God. All right, so if we rewind it a little bit here. See, there's still no space there for the white that's in the Stormtrooper helmet. That is a great shot right there. That is a great shot. And so is this, but going back. There are some Stormtroopers dead on the ground here before. Can we see their faces? No. No, we cannot. What about the Stormtroopers at the beginning of the trailer? Hang on. Rewind. Rewind. Those look like normal Stormtroopers. It's very hard to tell from this far away, but they do look like normal Stormtrooper helmets. To me. And the Snowtrooper helmets from the leaked trailer look like normal Snowtrooper helmets too. All right, go back. Okay, so this planet has been brought up. What planet do you guys think this is? The background looks very, I don't really know. It could be Tatooine and the sun is just low, but it doesn't really look like sand. It could be Navarro, which is where the Anzellans are. And it could be Mandalore, because Mandalore was turned to glass, so it has that sort of shiny finish to it. I think it's Navarro. The thing is, if this is Navarro, that means we're going to be spending a good portion of our time there, which is weird when you think about it, because Carl Weathers sadly passed away before the beginning of filming of this movie, so he's probably not going to be in it unless they deepfake him, which I seriously doubt. So they'll have to explain what happens to his character. And that would lead for Navarro to be some sort of big part of this movie, which I don't really think it will be. I don't know. Yes, the Anzellans are awesome too. That's for sure. Yeah. Mike, we haven't seen anything yet. There is more to come from Star. Oh, we haven't seen anything yet. Yeah, I mean, this is just a teaser trailer, or the first official trailer, whatever you want to call it. But it's still just a minute and a half. It doesn't show us everything we need to know about this movie. But it's a start. It's all we got for now. Do you think we'll go to Utapau in the movie, especially with that alien from Return of the Jedi? No, I think that alien is just from, well, it's probably originally from Utapau, because that's where the species comes from. But I think he's probably on some other planet, just like we saw the last one at Jabba's palace on Tatooine. Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a war in our Star Wars, but he said that when he was talking about Ahsoka Season 2, not this movie. Now, again, this is probably just going to lead into Ahsoka Season 2 with the whole Thrawn and Remnant of the Empire thing and the Heir to the Empire stuff. But I don't know how connected they'll be, you know? All right, but continuing. After this, we get to see Din Djarin holding Grogu, seemingly after he just blew up the AT-AT, going into a U-Wing. This is awesome because we just got finished watching Andor Season 2 earlier this year, where Cassian Andor drives the U-Wing. So a little cool nod towards the Andor series, and seeing that the New Republic still uses this type of ship is pretty damn cool. You got the Republic sign on the side there. Stinky the Hutt. Now, there has been zero confirmation that this is Stinky the Hutt, but, I mean, we've pretty much confirmed it ourselves. Rada the Hutt has returned, and now he is not just a stinky little Hutt baby. He's now a gladiator in some sort of gladiator ring, fighting in some underworld planet, probably the same underworld planet we saw earlier in the trailer, and he will be voiced by Jeremy Allen White. Now, I will say there's no way they got a giant actor like Jeremy Allen White to voice a slug if he wasn't going to have a big role. So I do think that he will play some sort of big-ish role in this movie. Now, this back half of this trailer does have a lot of Hutts going on. Connections to Hutts, showing Hutts like this, and even on the poster, there's Hutts. So some sort of underworld thing going on here with the Hutts. Gladiator Hutt, yeah. And Stinky being this gladiator. Now, the weird part about this, too, is Din Djarin in a couple frames is seen also in this gladiator ring. So Din gets up out of his seat and joins the fight. But we'll get to that in a sec. Okay, so Stinky the Hutt. Impressive. And Grogu eating some sort of popcorn. This. So, as many of you pointed out in the Discord, this is a Hutt symbol. So, I played a lot of Star Wars Outlaws. We actually streamed it on the channel, but this was the symbol for the Hutts, and who the hell knows what's in this vault. Now, what's really cool about this is these droids that are protecting it. We've seen countless droids in Star Wars. Sometimes they run out of really cool things to sort of design a droid. This is just cool. Like, this just... They look like they're from, like... Especially the one on the left. Looks like it's from Rock'em Sock'em Robots or something. But you got Din Djarin with his pulse rifle back, trying to evaporate him. Not going to be done. But why on earth would Din Djarin, who, by the way, I don't think Grogu's with him here. If he is, they're not together. Why would he be trying to break into this Hutt vault or whatever this is? What is he trying to do here? Like, that's the big thing. What is the goal here? What is the plot that's happening? What do we think? What do we think? Good to see that they have popcorn in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, I mean, I had popcorn last night. If they didn't have it, that'd be a disaster. Seeing Mando with his rifle back is my favorite part. The rifle was underutilized for sure. These giant robot guards, Jabba had some of those in the comics, and at the vault, and it's a Hutt vault, so maybe the wider clan uses the giant robots still. There's a lot of Jabba felt in this movie, even though Jabba's been dead for like 6 years. Yeah. Yeah. These droids are taking steroids a little bit. The Hutts from the book of the twin Hutts from the Book of Boba Fett have enslaved Rada, but why would they do that? Like, they're both Hutts. That doesn't really make sense. A Bo-Katan side quest again? I don't know. Now, maybe this might be like the opening mission of the movie, like we talked about before, where Din Djarin is sort of doing his own thing, trying to do this mission for the New Republic, where maybe he's doing something with Rada or the Hutts or something along those lines. Possibly. Somehow Iron Man has returned.
This is where the fun begins.
Yeah. To make some credits, I think he is just working for the New Republic here, but the question sort of is, why? Honey Badger in the house, what's up? Says, love the Razor Crest, but the M1 is my favorite ship. Okay, valid. Okay. I wonder what's behind the door. I'm assuming it's probably just some sort of treasure, like just credits and stuff. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy back there. I can't possibly imagine what the Hutts could be hiding in their vault other than just money. Yeah. Exactly. It's like a Bond movie. Start with the end of a quest. I think that's sort of what's going to happen here. You see a lot of this, and usually with the trailer, they do that, especially with the teaser trailer, a lot of action stuff in this first couple minutes of this trailer. That's all probably just the beginning of the movie in this opening thing so that they can establish who these characters are. Din and Grogu are badass, and they can show you that they're badass because of this first mission that they're on to start the movie. Yeah. Rada seems to be helping the New Republic, or is going to be helping the New Republic. I don't see why he would do that either. He's a gladiator. What does he have to do with that? You know? Mike is behind the door? I hope not. I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that I was there. I'd like to have seen the big bad being evil, or big baddie being evil, to tease the jeopardy and suspense that we can expect. True, this trailer is more so Din and Grogu. Get hyped up for Din and Grogu's return. It's not a trailer that's really establishing the villain of the film. You're right. We don't even see the Shadow Council or the one Shadow Council member that's confirmed to be in this movie. We don't even see much of the Imperial Remnant, although we do see a bunch of stormtroopers, Zeb fighting them, and then in the other scene too. But we don't really know who the main villain is. Is it Thrawn? Is it just the Shadow Council guy? Is it somebody else? Is it the Hutts? Is it the criminal underworld? It's not made very clear. Now, that's because we're still 8 months away. That's because this is the first ever official trailer for this movie. I'm sure over time we'll figure that out and we'll get more. But right now, it doesn't really do that. Thrawn will be probably towards the end of the movie. I think so, too. I do think so. It'll be like Thanos grabbing the Infinity Gauntlet going, fine, I'll do it myself. And that'll be Thrawn going, fine, I'll do it myself. He'll be like, who's this Din Djarin guy? Well, that's the thing with Thrawn is he studies people. He studies their people's artifacts, and he studies their culture, and that's how he knows you before he even meets you, like when he first meets Hera in Rebels. So the idea that he might come across Din Djarin and be like, a Mandalorian. Who is that guy? And then that might lead him to Mandalore and all these other craziness things that could happen in Ahsoka Season 2, and then further on in the hopeful Mandalorian trilogy. But that's if Thrawn is going to be the main villain. I'd love to see Mando and Grogu tie in with the Skeleton Crew. That's where Thrawn again would come in. Because Dathomir is in such close proximity to At-Aten, that's how you tie in Skeleton Crew to all this. Yeah. We need to do some call-ins. We can try and do some call-ins today, for sure. Actually, let me do something different this time. So here's what we're going to do. If you are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join it immediately. I'm going to open up a call-in stage, and then I'll just leave it open. And if you want to call in, you can, and then I'll bring you in. But we won't do like a whole call-in thing, you know? Like I'll just leave it there, and if somebody calls in, then we'll do that, but we'll just keep breaking it down. Make sense? So if you want to call in, it's open now. Go raise your hand in the stage, in the Discord, and do that. Okay, but so Hut Vault, Din Djarin try to break in, still don't really know why or what's going on, but here we go. This creature, one of my favorite Easter eggs as well, is as the StarWars.com article confirms, the creature from the hollow chess table on the Millennium Falcon. I repeat, this creature right here has been seen in Star Wars before in the hollow chess game on the Millennium Falcon. It doesn't get much cooler than this. Talk about a deep cut. And now that creature from the Hollow Chess game is going to be fighting Din Djarin. So now Din has entered the gladiator ring and is taking down, or trying to take down, I should say, this hollow chess creature. This creature is titled, or his species, sorry, is a Mantelian cervip. Sure, a Mantelian cervip. And as you can tell, this is an action figure of the set, but this is him in the hollow chess throwing the creature on the ground. Let me get to that super chat. Holly with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that. Says, haven't anyone talked about this. Okay. But I think Johnny Cone's character will be the warlord Zinsinge? I don't know who that is. At least not by name. Let's see. Warlord Star Wars. I'm unfamiliar. Maybe because I listen to these books instead of read them. Let's see. He's a Legends character. From what, though? Here we go. Appearances. Okay. He's from the X-Wing Rogue Squadron game. I don't know who this is. But okay. I hope you're right. He looks to have a pretty damn big Wikipedia page. Possibly. As they're bringing over so many Legends characters into canon, I would not be surprised. But this one I am unfamiliar with. Yeah. I do believe, though, that the Shadow Council will play a major role in the events of this movie. That was set up in Mando Season 3, and we know, like you said, that Johnny character, or Johnny actor, will be one of the only characters that we know of that will be in this movie. Yeah. What would save Star Wars for me? I don't know. I don't think it needs saving. I don't think it needs saving. As me and Sam just finished the Clone Wars, we started rewatching Acolyte. We watched actually last night, episode 5. So good. But yeah, I don't think it needs saving at all. I think when you look at the last couple of years of Star Wars content, it's like we're just sitting on peak. Nobody knows it. Or everybody knows it. We just don't like to admit it, I guess. From the Ahsoka series to the Bad Batch ending a couple of years ago to the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew and even the video games, the Jedi games, even the animation side of it. Oh, I just said the Bad Batch, but even the Tales stuff, and then leading into this year with Andor Season 2. Yeah, no? For me, Star Wars doesn't need to be saved. Sometimes it has good stuff and sometimes it doesn't. Valid. Yeah. Was her reaction crying? No, actually. So she cried at the end of Clone Wars Season 7 and cried when Fives died. But she was upset about Yord and Jekki dying, but she kind of saw it coming. She knows a lot about the Acolyte before we even watched it. She knew that Chimera was the stranger. So she had some knowledge going in already. She was like, that was awesome, the episode 5. She wasn't a fan of Yord beforehand, so she was like, I wasn't a fan of him, but I didn't want him to die. So there's that. Yeah. Save Star Wars, ... Get all the rage baiting offline. I don't know about that. I mean, you have the fact that, yes, a lot of the conversation about Star Wars Online is arguing, but that's because so many people love Star Wars for many different reasons. Yes, some people might just be hating to hate. Some people might just be loving to love. And there's some arguments that are valid going both ways. People like different things. That's one thing. To like something, to dislike something, that's perfectly fine. But to just hate on somebody for liking something or vice versa, that's a lot worse. Hang on, let's get Holly in here one sec. And we'll get back to our hollow chess friend. Holly. I cannot hear you, Holly. Can you guys hear her? When you talked, it did make a thing, but I can't hear you. Maybe try turning up your volume or something? Holly, I can see you're trying to talk, but I cannot hear you. I don't know how to fix this. I think it's on your end, Holly, but I don't know. Oh, user volume maybe? I just turned you up to 200. Try speaking again. Oh, still got nothing. I don't know, Holly. I'm going to disconnect you and then try and come back in and see if that works. Okay, but getting back to this trailer. This creature, very cool Easter egg. Again, John and Dave just pulling out of their crazy legends. Or actually, this isn't legends. It's crazy side character, whatever, out of their hats. Bringing in the hollow chess character from the Millennium Falcon into live action to fight Din Djarin in this Gladiator. Now, people think that's a really cool Easter egg, and it is, but they're kind of missing the point here. Din Djarin is in the Gladiator ring. The same place that he was watching with Grogu eating the popcorn, where Stinky the Hutt was fighting. Now he is in here fighting this creature. How does that happen? Why is he in here? He's now getting paid by the New Republic to go on missions. What brings him into this Gladiator ring? What's the purpose in that? Maybe he's trying to strike a deal with Stinky, and he's like, I'll only do something for you if you hop in my Gladiator ring. Maybe. What do we think? It reminds me of when Jango Fett did this. Yeah, so Jango Fett did this, and Boba Fett actually did this in the comics too, where he painted his suit all black and went into just like his dad did. So now we're getting to see Din Djarin do the same thing, which would be really cool. All right, Holly, let's try it again. Now it says you're muted, Holly. Yeah. Din just wants to throw hands, Mike? I don't know about that. I don't know what it is, Holly. I really don't. Maybe it is on my end, but we've done call-ins before and this hasn't happened. I am not too sure. UFC fighting in Star Wars? Kinda. I don't see it that Din Djarin just wanted to get in here and fight, you know? I think there's got to be more to it. Maybe like your audio input isn't working or something, Holly. I don't know. But I'm really dying to know what you have to say. I'm dying to know. All right, but I'm going to disconnect you and see if you can figure that out. I'm dying to know. Yeah. Okay. Maybe Mike is a Sith Lord and we just don't know it. What? How did this get turned on me? Other bounty hunters recognize him and turn him over. Interesting. He's probably not in the greatest of places, so maybe he gets turned over. That could be. Could be. Oh, Haja, let's get you on in here. First call on of the day. Or second attempt, but first call in. Hi, Haja. Hello. What is going on? Okay, there goes I Haja. Never mind. Nobody wants to do a call-in today. Or the call-ins don't want to work today. I don't know what's up with that. It didn't work. Huh. It must be on my end then. What is going on here? Huh. I don't know. It's my fault, chat. Okay, fine. Then I will, I guess I'll end the call-in stage and we'll try and figure it out off stream. All right, never mind. No call-ins today. But Din Djarin is in the gladiator ring. For some reason, I just think that all of this happens in like the first 5 minutes of the movie. You know, like all these crazy scenes of him in this gladiator stuff. And like the opening scene, I feel like could be this. Where is it? Oh, this. Like that. He walks into the city, goes into the gladiator ring, sees Stinky the Hutt, and then fights himself in the gladiator ring. Like, I feel like that could all be the first opening scene of the movie. And then we go from there. Kickstarts you into the action, gets a cool Din Djarin in this gladiator thing. I'd be down for that. He gets thrown in? Okay. So in the leaked trailer, we got to see the hallway scene type deal on the back of this AT-AT, where Din Djarin comes in, absolutely destroys everybody, and gets to the front of it, and then clearly blows it up. But as you can tell, this AT-AT blows up. This AT-AT is not blown up. So a little bit more trailer magic going on there, where this is a different AT-AT, or this is just a mistake. I mean, I don't know. This is clearly a different, like this completely blows up, like fiery explosion, and then the next scene it's perfectly intact. So there's so many different things going on in this trailer, from a snow planet to a somewhat deserty looking planet with Grogu, maybe Navarro, to Adolphi, to this city-like planet. Like there's a billion and one different things happening in this teaser trailer, and yet it still gives us such little information about them, which is crazy. It's insane. And then the very Indiana Jonesy looking font and title. And you got to think about it. Indiana Jones, well, the first one's called Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's sort of what this title reminds me of. Like Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Like it feels like an Indiana Jones type title. And now the font even represents that. Forged for IMAX is a nice touch. Instead of like filmed for IMAX, get it? Beskar steel, forged.
Good shot, baby.
Good shot, baby. Okay, but a little bit of questions that I got for you guys when it comes to this trailer is the lack of other characters. Yes, we get Sigourney Weaver's character in there. But other than that, and Zeb, of course, and Stinky, but other than that, no real villains. The Twin Hutts are on the poster, but no Shadow Council members, no Grand Admiral Thrawn. There's some stormtroopers, but not many, and one looks like it could be a First Order stormtrooper or a transitioning into a First Order stormtrooper. But my question to you is, do you think we'll be seeing characters like Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, Cobb Vanth, the Vespa Gang, Bo-Katan, the other Mandalorians? Because the last we saw from the leaks, which we were talking about last stream and last week, were that the the recent leak was that the Death Watch will be in the movie. And it makes a lot of sense that the other Mandalorians would be in this film because, well, we just left off. All of season 3 was about the other Mandalorians being in this film, and it was awesome.
This is where the fun begins.
But they are really, really, really taking their time with this trailer to show that they're not. To show that there's no other familiar faces in this movie. At least, according to the trailer, there's not. When you look at this, there's no Bo-Katan, there's no Boba Fett, there's no Luke Skywalker, there's no Leia, there's no Mon Mothma, there's no Coruscant. There's no even Jod or Skeleton Crew members or Ahsoka or Ghost Crew members like Hera Syndulla. There's none of that. Oh, Zeb, I guess. But that's it. Do you think that they will be in this movie? The Twin Hutts are. So that would be your connection to, I guess, Boba Fett, because he has dealt with the Hutts before, and maybe Din goes to his friend for help. But Bo-Katan, I can't imagine Bo-Katan not being in this movie. Just pure and simple based off of Katie Sackhoff's interview that we watched a million times. But it's just, after how season 2 and season 3 went, I can't imagine it. Can't imagine. However, as I say that, so we just watched this Sigourney Weaver interview from Star Wars Celebration. Check out this Pedro Pascal one.
I can say that it felt bigger. It looked bigger, and there was something that was clearly so familiar because the building of this world had been happening. I think I met with John and Dave in 2018, and we got into shooting 2019. So here we are, like 7 years later, which is incredible. And the movie set was more than I could have ever expected or seen. It was just an unbelievable evolution.
First of all, that's confirmation that he was on set, but we already knew that.
That I think was very natural, but still felt like a dream to me. I always thought to myself, look, I know that John and David Filoni are very intent on creating an episodic cinematic experience within the Star Wars universe. But it has to be a movie someday, and I really don't think that they had that in mind. And then somehow it happened, and it was a dream come true. And I think The Mandalorian and Grogu will be one of the greatest adventure movies in the canon of cinema. I can say.
I mean, if that's any case, if it's the greatest adventure movie of all cinema, that'd be pretty damn great. But even if it's top tier, I'd be down with that. So what's really funny about this? Yes, he was on set. We know that for a fact. I think we'll be seeing his face in this movie, which means I think he'll die. But I know. I won't get into that today. We'll try to have a happy day without me killing Din Djarin off, okay? But I do think that this is bigger for the big screen. I know all these scoopers and people are trying to say that it's just a Stinky the Hutt movie where the main thing is just to go save Stinky the Hutt from Embo or whatever they want to call it. I can't imagine that. I literally cannot fathom the first movie of a Mando trilogy just being about Stinky the Hutt. Especially after what happened with the Clone Wars movie. And especially after what Mando Season 3 and 2 did with characters like Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, and more. Like, you have the ability here to kickstart us off to the Heir to the Empire story. Now, you don't have to show Thrawn. You don't have to show him at all. But his presence needs to be felt. If this movie takes place right after Ahsoka ended, which it should, then Thrawn's back. And immediately his presence should be felt. The remnant of the Empire should feel more united. There should feel like a large looming threat in the background. And maybe it ends on this giant cliffhanger about Grand Admiral Thrawn, and that leads us directly into Ahsoka Season 2 and right into this war in our Star Wars. And that's perfectly fine with me. But to say that there's nothing to do with the remnant of the Empire and Thrawn and the Shadow Council and the good villains, because as much as I love Embo in the Clone Wars, he's not a good villain. He's not. Stinky the Hutt, he's not. So I think that stuff will be the beginning of the movie, like we talked about before, like a James Bond movie where it ends with the action, or starts with the action of the ending of a thing. There's no way that they don't involve the remnant of the Empire and what they've been building up for the last 6 years on Disney+. All that build up from 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, showing the Snoke chamber on Navarro, the cloning facility, the remnant of the Empire, Moff Gideon, Mandalore, all that build up. Ahsoka, bringing Grand Admiral Thrawn back as the heir to the Empire. Doing all that for 6 years just to go to the movies and not do any of it. Have this incredible setup and then go to the big thing where you're going to do the thing and then... No. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Incorrect.
I can't imagine it. I can't imagine. Thrawn's not going to be in the movie. I agree. I don't think Thrawn will be in the movie. Unless it's like a post-credit scene or something. But that doesn't mean it's not. His presence isn't felt. His presence doesn't have to be there, but it doesn't have to be felt. 0% chance this movie has any effect on the larger Star Wars galaxy. Could not disagree with that more. Yeah. Mike, any chance they're making this for the younger generation audience? I mean, yeah. Isn't that what they make every Star Wars project for? I get that they're going to do a lot of Grogu cute stuff, but they've been building up this entire thing forever. That's what this is. This is a 6-year story in the making, and this is the beginning of a trilogy, which is going to tell, or hopefully the beginning of a trilogy, which is going to tell this incredible heir to the Empire legend story in canon, or a canon adaptation of the story, I should say. Yeah. Don't forget, this wasn't originally supposed to be a movie. True, it was supposed to be Mando Season 4, and it was reworked into the movie. But Mando Season 4 was still going to continue the story that they were telling. Still going to continue what happens. This major Mandoverse story, where all these seemingly unconnected projects, from Ahsoka to Book of Boba Fett to Skeleton Crew to Mando, yes, they're connected in obvious ways, like Mando being in the Book of Boba Fett, but these seemingly unconnected projects being heavily connected by this end goal, this heir to the Empire, this Grand Admiral Thrawn, this big threat that they can all come together and fight against. So Season 4 would have just been a continuation of that. The Mando movie needs to make at least $700 million for a sequel, which I don't think is going to happen. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make $700 million. I think it's going to make well over $1 billion. So I don't think there'll be any problem with that. I just want them to announce the trilogy before they do it. The hype for a trilogy is going to be so much greater than the hype for just a Mandalorian and Grogu movie. That's it. And like we saw today, I think this is definitely alluding to the fact that this could be the beginning of a trilogy. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Not The Mandalorian and Grogu, a Star Wars story like Rogue One and Solo were, but like Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Star Wars Attack of the Clones, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. This is a Star Wars possible beginning of a trilogy. Let's actually pull this up. Let's pull it up. By the way, 72% of you, or 71% of you, like the Razor Crest more than the N1 Starfighter. I told you, Mom Van, it wins every time. Wow. Okay, but let's pull this up. Do you think The Mandalorian and Grogu, oh my God, I can't type, Grogu is the beginning of a new trilogy? Yes or no? You tell me. Did anyone notice that the alien in the Mando movie is the, yeah, Brandon, we watched that. We watched that clip. Indeed. Indeed. I think the Mando movie will make around $400 million. I don't think you guys understand what's going on here. I don't think you understand that the biggest Disney Plus show they've had for Star Wars, and it's not even close, has 3 seasons. Grogu, Din Djarin, and Grogu. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, all that, and Grogu is going to the movie theaters. Star Wars in the movie theaters. You think it's going to make $400 million? Does streaming views equal box office receipts? No, but Star Wars does. 4 of the 5 Star Wars movies Disney has made to date, and again, 2 of those movies being sequel movies that are ridiculously divisive, made $1 billion and made it easily. Force Awakens making $2 billion. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think this movie will make $1 billion, like, somewhat easily. I think it'll make $2 billion if it's a really good movie. If it does what I think it can do, which is establish Ahsoka Season 2 and establish Thrawn and set up a trilogy and set up the story that comes next that they've been setting up for 6 years on Disney+, I think it can make $2 billion easy. If it's a good movie, easily. A Star Wars box office success, recapturing the magic of Star Wars with Grogu and bringing all these kids in with that character, the new generation and the old, with these original trilogy references, the feel of the spaghetti western with Din Djarin being like a space cowboy. If they can recapture that season 1, 2 success from 5 years ago, when Star Wars was in a tailspin, there's no reason it shouldn't make at least $1 billion. Yeah. Yeah. I love this. I can't wait till you're all wrong. Can't wait. I literally can't wait. I'm so excited. Once we start getting closer to the movie, too, once we get more trailers and the hype starts going up, can't wait till you all start changing your tune. And then I can't wait till the after party where none of you show up. How did The Force Awakens make so much? Well, The Force Awakens, it was the first Star Wars movie in 10 years or something like that. And it was the bring back of Luke, Leia, and Han. Chewie, I'm home. As soon as you saw that trailer, you knew it was making $1 billion easy, and you was probably making $2 billion too. The same way I think of this movie. Like, Din and Grogu are not on the same level as Luke, Leia, and Han, obviously, but they have a fraction of that already established success. So you're bringing over 2 beloved characters that now even kids who grew up on them 6 years ago on Disney Plus are now older, and even the older generation who still loved that show is now still going to watch it. And you have a brand new audience that hasn't seen a Star Wars movie in theaters ever, because the last one was 7 years ago, or it will be 7 years. You know? It'll be awesome. I can't wait for it. I think they'll bring in the Yuzhan Vong in the 3rd installment of the trilogy. No. I mean, if they did bring in anything like that, it will be the Grisk, because that's what they've been establishing in canon, at least in the Thrawn novels. So it will be the Grisk. But even still, unless they go down the route of it being mostly focusing on Thrawn, the Grisk is such a crazy thing to bring in. They have to make like a Grisk show or a Chiss show or a Thrawn show to explain sort of what's going on there. Just 3 movies is not nearly enough time to follow that. You know? Yeah. Yes, Jacob, we are. We absolutely are. Oh, yeah. You know, I'll do my part. If this movie needs to make $1 billion and I got to go watch it 10 million times, I'll do it. You know? I'll do it. The only event movie, only event movies hit $1 billion. Example, Minecraft. I mean, I guess. But then, like, what about, like, Captain Marvel? Or Rogue One? Or The Rise of Skywalker? Yeah. This movie is not going to make $1 billion. Is not going to make $1 billion. Please be real. I am being real. I think it will make $1 billion. I'm dead serious. If I didn't think it'd make $1 billion, I'd say that. I do. And all things point to it making $1 billion. My crazy prediction is that it makes 2. What are you going to do? Yeah, families are going to go see The Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters. This film will make $1 billion or even more. Toy Story 5 and Moana live action are also going to make $1 billion. Exactly. The same way that these just... Actually, let me double check this before I say this. Didn't Inside Out 2 make $2 billion? Hang on, let me look that up. Inside Out 2 box office. Oh, Inside Out 2 grossed $1.699, so $1.7 billion worldwide. Lilo and Stitch this year made over $1 billion. I don't know a single person in my entire life that has seen the Lilo and Stitch movie. Tell me in the chat if you've seen the Lilo and Stitch movie, because you'll be the first one. I have a gigantic family. Not a single one of them has seen this movie. I have cousins that are kids. I have cousins that are older. Nobody's seen that. That made $1 billion this year. Inside Out made almost $2 billion, 1.7 million. I didn't see that. I don't know anybody who saw that. Because Mike is a Disney shill. If Disney was paying me, it'd be a great life. To love Star Wars, to love something that I love, that'd be nice. I'm just looking at the facts. If a movie like Inside Out 2 can make $1.7 billion, or a live-action Lilo and Stitch movie, which I heard, by the way, is not nearly as good as the animated one, makes over $1 billion, you think the next Star Wars movie? Star Wars can't make $1 billion? That sounds crazy to me. Like, you guys are sitting here like, Mike, you're crazy if you think it makes $1 billion. I think you're crazy if you think it's not going to. You think Inside Out 1 has more of a fan base to bring over to Inside Out 2 than Star Wars? Can't even say that with a straight face. What are we even talking about here? Have we entered a different realm where Star Wars is not nearly as popular? What happened? The Star Wars Association to Disney will bring it down. These two movies are Disney movies. What are we even talking about? What's going on? Did I hit my head, chat? Am I still asleep? Are you messing with me? Are you guys messing with me? I think you're all just messing with me now. The Last Jedi made $1.4 billion. Yeah. Yeah. It can make $1 billion if it moves the story forward. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's a good movie, it'll make well over $1 billion. 2, actually. Yeah. Parents will pay anything to get their small kids out of the house during the summer. That's why all kids films are successful. What do you think the Mandalorian and Grogu is going to do? You guys are so crazy. You guys are so crazy. Google how many movies have made $1 billion since 2023. It's a small number. Let's see. Let's see the list. Movies that made $1 billion since 2023, you say? Since 2023. Let's see. Do we trust Google AI here? This just says $1 billion movies. Okay, well, this says that 2 movies in 2023 made $1 billion. That's Barbie and the Super Mario movie. That's 2023. Well, then I don't know if the top. Actually, let's do in 2023. In 2023, Barbie and Super Mario were the only 2 to make it. 1.4 billion, 1.3 billion. At least according to that. And then we'll go to 2024. Oops, that's 5. 2024. 2024, you had Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2, and Moana 2. I didn't even know there was a Moana 2. When did Moana 2 come out? Wait, what? There's a Moana 2? Did we know about this, chat? Inside Out 2 made over $1 billion. It doesn't say how much it made, though. So did Deadpool and Wolverine, and so did Moana 2, which didn't know existed. And then in 2025, so that's 5 movies right now. In 2025, Lilo and Stitch. Is that it? The Minecraft movie didn't make $1 billion? Oh. Okay, never mind. Lilo and Stitch, Naze 2, which I have heard about, but I haven't watched it myself. Oh, the Minecraft movie made $960 million. So it was close. So that's 7 movies. 7 movies in the last 3 years. Yeah? Of those 7 movies, you're going to sit here and tell me that Star Wars is not... Don't even put into Mandalorian and Grogu, your 2 most popular characters in the last decade. You're going to tell me that it's not more popular than Lilo and Stitch, Moana 2, which I didn't even know existed, Inside Out, Deadpool and Wolverine, I'll give you. It's part of the MCU. It's the 3rd Deadpool movie. They brought in Wolverine. Sure. I'll say that's on the same level as Star Wars. Super Mario, again, very, very big. And Barbie. What are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? This isn't even like a real conversation that we're having. Like you guys are just messing with me today. Fine. Be that way. When this movie crosses $1 billion, we're going to have this epic rager. And I can't wait. And you're all invited. And you're all invited. Batman 2 comes out in 2027? I think so. Maybe. Rager at Mike's house. Once the movie hits $1 billion. There you go. There you go. All right, let me end this poll. I don't even remember what this poll is anymore. Oh, beginning of a trilogy. 71% of you guys think it will be the beginning of a trilogy. I completely agree. I hope they announce it beforehand, but I completely agree. Oh, before we get on out of here, I wanted to talk about this. Yeah. I found this very off topic, but an edit. Actually, two things I want to talk about. One, this. So I made this short a little bit ago about Mark Hamill talking about in 1984, talking about Return of the Jedi changed from Revenge of the Jedi. Take a look at this.
The first time I got the
that's quiet.
script, it was Return of the Jedi. Fine and dandy. And then they told me they were changing it to Revenge of the Jedi because it's a better, snappier title. You know how they interview women from ages 16 to 25 and it markets well. So and they said, oh, it's a punchier title, Revenge. And I said, you know, whatever they do, any of those Return, Revenge, Beneath the Planet of Meet Abbott and Costello, they all sound the same. It's like we're either doing Pink Panther or it's all just, you know, as long as people know what they're going to go see. But I did say that really, from what I know about the character, the Jedis do not seek revenge. You know, hate, anger, aggression, everything that we learned in Empire was negated by the title Revenge of the Jedi. And then George said, well, which Jedi are we talking about? Are we talking about Anakin Skywalker? Are we talking about Darth Vader?
I know it's a little quiet, but did you hear that? Did you hear how he just pronounced Anakin Skywalker? I'll rewind for you.
Jedi. And then George said, well, which Jedi are we talking about? Are we talking about Anakin Skywalker? Are we talking about Darth Vader? Are we talking about...
Now, this is 1984. Right after the original trilogy, you know, the Star Wars fandom is pretty united. People hated the Ewoks, whatever. What are you going to do? Imagine this was 2025, and this was any Star Wars actor in any project that's come out over the last 5 years. Imagine the amount of hate that would be online. Imagine. So it's funny because people are like, oh, that's hilarious. Why did he pronounce Anakin like that? That's so weird. Funny. Ha ha. Hoo hoo. Hee hee. Ha ha. But that's just how much times have changed. Like things now, if that were the case, like if some actor now was like, oh, Anakin Skywalker, like we'd be like, you're an idiot. And he'd be trashed online for weeks. Guy's not a real Star Wars fan, doesn't even know how to pronounce Anakin Skywalker. He's... That's just how crazy things have become. And I just thought I'd point that out a little bit. And it's pretty funny because just nobody cares. And people even in the comments are like, oh, that's funny. But if that was today, it would be a whole different conversation. I'd be getting on this live stream being like, okay, he mispronounced the name. What are we even talking about? That's like as crazy as you saying that Inside Out 2 can make $1 billion and the Mandalorian and Grogu movie can't. Like, what are we even talking about? But there was that. And then there was an edit that I want to show you guys that I saw that was pretty damn great. Because people always crap on, oh, how did Anakin fall so quickly to the dark side? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Check this out.
You look tired. I don't sleep well anymore. Because of your mother?
Oh. Sorry, chat. That's way too loud. I turned the volume like to 1,000,000 because the last one was really quiet, so my fault. Hang on, go back. So it says grief, by the way.
You look tired. I don't sleep well anymore. Because of your mother?
Where are you going? Find my mother. Your mother's dead, son. Accept it.
You're not all-powerful.
Well, I should be. Someday I will be. I will even learn to stop people from dying.
I wasn't strong enough to save you, Mom.
Attack of the Clones. Hashtag underrated. Okay. Sorry. I'm just a big Attack of the Clones fan, and it gets so much crap for no reason. But what are you going to do? Okay. With that, Mandalorian and Grogu trailer will definitely make well over $1 billion. But, exactly. But with that being said, let's watch this trailer one more time before we get on out of here. Start it from the beginning. Let's do it. Hang on, chat. What? Start over. Here we go.
impressive.
Good shot, baby.
So good. All right, but until next time, I do have to get on out of here. Go watch the breakdown video because we broke down the whole. I mean, it's more concise than the 2 hours that we just did. But that too, and watch out for a short tonight. Actually, talking about Star Wars fans, Simon Pegg talking about toxic Star Wars fans. Hate the word, but whatever. It's what he uses. So watch out for that too. And yeah, we'll go from there. New trailer, new poster, new hype. We didn't even get into Cal Kestis today. I want to talk about Cal Kestis too. Whatever. Next time on Thursday, we'll get into that. But until next time, hope you have a great rest of your evening. Smash a freaking like on this stream. How many likes do we have, chat? How many likes do we have? Am I going to be upset? Oh, that's not bad at all, actually. That's not too shabby. Smash a freaking like on your way out if you have not already. Hit that subscribe. Hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face or some of the recommended feed of yours. Cannot wait until next time. Okay. Thanks, Brandon, I think. I don't know what he said. But okay. Until next time, may the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. This was quite the good stream, if I do say so myself. Mandalorian and Grogu trailer hype. Only 81 likes out of 184,000. Yeah, what the hell's going on? Not fake? I wish. No, a lot of the followers we get from shorts, so they're not translated over to live streams. That's the thing. I mean, live streams are the least viewed thing on the channel, but I don't really care because live streams are where we have the most fun. But what are you going to do? Not all 180,000 of you guys want to show up for it. What are you going to do? You like more short content where it's quick and to the point. Attention span has gone to 0. But what are you going to do? All right. Until next time, hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.